invite Christine. Hello.
Amazing. Hello, we're live. I'm so excited about this live that we're doing. I think let's get right into it.
Okay.
So the topic today is art speaks where words fail. I think is a very fitting topic for a lot of people. When we first met, it was a topic for us, and I think like for many. So maybe we can just start off with like a quick introduction of who we are if people don't know us yet. If you want, you can get started.
Okay. My name's Alana Judah, and I'm in Southern Indiana in the United States. Um, I have been doing art full time for about 3 or 4 years. Before that, I worked in engineering for almost 22 years.
Completely different.
It is and it isn't. I can see the similarities, but before that, I was actually a high school math teacher.
Which is more similar to engineering, yeah.
That didn't last. That didn't even last one school year. I started out college as an art major, but I got scared and changed my mind. But I worked my
Okay.
way back to it. It just took me a while.
Well, yeah, that's quite a journey. I think we will go into that a little bit more deeply. Maybe let me quickly introduce myself as well. So I'm Christine. I'm actually from Germany, but I live in Spain. So for me, it's already the evening, which you can see with my lighting. I couldn't get better lighting to work, but I think that's fine. And I also actually I studied business engineering, so I also was a little bit in engineering, but then I found my way to build a startup where we help patients with arthritis, and I completely burned out, and that's why I found art to help me through all of the changes. And now I help women de-stress, simplify their work so that they can actually enjoy growing their business. And my main tool is art. So I think very fitting, very two
Right.
different perspectives that are very interesting that we can bring to the table.
Yes, I agree.
So maybe do you want to go a little bit deeper into how you went from engineering to art?
Okay. Um, I really always wanted to be an artist. That was the plan from the very beginning. I have artwork here in my studio that I did when I was 12.
Wow.
When I was in college, though, this was pre-internet or just at the beginning of the internet. And we didn't have all these tools and access that we have today. So I just honestly just was scared about how I was going to make a living.
Hmm.
So I changed my major. I always liked math. So I decided to go with that. Actually, I was on the volleyball team, my college volleyball team, and we had to have our grades checked because we were student athletes. And the professor that checked grades was in the education department. So
Hmm.
that's how I got into the education department. It was with his recommendation. And I didn't have any better ideas, so that's what I did. So I graduated and tried teaching high school math for a while. I was actually the volleyball coach too there.
Oh boy, like a lot of different things. I love it.
I didn't like that either, though. In my heart, I was still a player. Um, and teaching high school math was not a good fit for me at all.
Hmm.
Um, just personality wise and being able to control a classroom it was not for me. So I fell back on my backup plan, which was working in engineering. It was a job that I'd worked during the summers while I was going to school. My dad already worked there and they'd offered me a job. So I took it and it lasted almost 22 years.
Wow.
I worked as a project coordinator, I think for 13 years, and then they promoted me to engineer. And I do not have an engineering degree, but I was
Wow.
like a project manager. in research and development. So, and it was fine for a while. I really enjoyed it for a while. But my job kind of changed. And then when COVID hit and I got the opportunity to work from home and stay with my dogs and do more art, I started to realize this is what I need to be doing just for my own mental health. When it came time to go back to work, my social anxiety from being quarantined just got so much worse. And I didn't want to go back out in the world. I just wanted to stay here by myself with my dogs. So then my husband and his business partner during COVID opened up a restaurant, and due to the success of that restaurant, then we were all able to quit our regular full-time jobs.
Ah, wow. Okay. And
And it's
you're
been hard because it was almost like I had two jobs at once there for a while during the transition.
so doing still engineering while you're transitioning to
Right.
art and doing the two at the same time. Wow,
Right.
how was that experience of like juggling two completely different things?
It was hard. I worked a lot of hours. There was not a lot of downtime. And my job was an hour away. So when I did have to go back, that's 2 hours of driving out of the day. I didn't get a lot of sleep.
I can imagine. But it's so interesting though, sometimes when we know we want to do something and when we feel like this is the right thing, like we take the work. Like we know, okay, it's like for a period of time we can
Right.
hustle, which generally I don't agree with it, but sometimes it's just like, okay, we need to do this because otherwise we can't follow our passion. And I think sometimes maybe it's even required. Like
Right.
if it would be too easy, like everybody would be doing it. There has to be a little bit of like a challenge to actually like create a business and like force a little bit into this direction to
Right.
like earn it.
Right. So you can use your evenings to watch TV, watch a movie, or read a book, or you can use it to build something new that you want to move to.
Exactly. Yeah. In the end, that's all of how you prioritize and focus your time.
Mhm.
And I love what like how that you said that because I feel like we have so much more time we don't actually
Oh,
realize,
yeah.
but then we spend it like on Instagram or we spend it like I don't know, checking our inbox for like 2 hours, like so many little things
Right.
that we don't even realize where we could spend our time on actually doing like what we love.
Right. But it becomes overwhelming to know what even to spend your time on, like where to even start. Um, that's hard part. And I just started with a booth at my local farmers market. That's how I started.
Oh, nice. Okay. And how did that go?
It was really good. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised how much art I could sell to people who were just there to buy tomatoes.
Maybe that was the secret.
And then I would do travel art shows, and it just kind of built up from there.
Okay. So maybe like for the people watching, like what were the steps? Like when you decided you want to make a career in art,
Mhm.
like what were the steps that you were like, okay, this is what I will do now. This is what I will follow.
Right. I did a lot of research online because I didn't go to art school, so I didn't have those connections in the art community and resources. So there's a lot on the internet to sift through to find
Hmm.
what's going to work for me. And I did find an art marketing company called Art Storefronts that has
Hmm.
helped me tremendously, all the way from a website to online marketing techniques and everything. So that has been really good. So
Oh, wow, okay.
in a really small town, like 2,000 people in my town. We have one stoplight. So
Okay.
I can't rely on people coming in my studio and buying art off the wall as my total
Hmm.
business plan. So I knew I was going to have to sell online.
Okay. Okay, nice. And so basically they helped you to set up the storefront, they helped you to set up the marketing and
Right.
all of the things that came with that. And then you also went to booth in person to like sell your artwork in person and get like maybe
I
the
did.
connection with the people.
I did for a while. I don't do that much anymore.
Okay. And what you also do, what you told me when we met, is you actually give like art classes to people
Mhm.
to help them develop their painting. Maybe you can go, how
Right.
did that develop?
Um, Someone just asked me if I would do it. I had kind of thought about it and I was thinking, oh, I don't really want to do that. But a lady at the farmer's market asked me if I gave lessons. And I said no. And she said, well, would you consider giving lessons? I'm like, well, I'll give it a try and see how it goes. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I have
Oh, okay.
probably 10 to 12 regular students that come in and we just paint together. It's
Oh,
really
wow,
fun.
amazing.
And
And they come to you like they're in your local community, they come to your
yes,
house?
they come to my studio.
Okay. Ah, amazing.
Mhm.
Wow. That sounds fun. And you also do group like
Right.
painting
I do
workshops.
like painting parties, which are more of just for fun. I
Hmm.
think I have two next week that are birthday parties. And I'm right next to my husband's pizza shop. So it can be a pizza painting birthday party. And the kids have a lot of fun.
Wow. So basically, like for people listening, you kind of followed like you followed your intuition and then you also got someone to help you with the strategy. But then when people ask you, like there was a demand for like basically painting,
Right.
you offered that. You offered what people ask you.
Right.
And I think that's actually like a really good lesson. Like usually people ask what they want or
Yeah.
they mention it in some form and it's up to us as an entrepreneur to be like, okay, this I can actually teach on. I feel good doing that, so I offer that to people now.
And I feel I have a tendency to overthink things. I
Hmm.
think that's the engineering side. So when I was thinking of doing private lessons, I thought I have to come up with a curriculum and make it real complicated. And no, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You just sit down and we talk and they pick out what they want to paint and then we just paint together. So I've had, 8-year-olds do portraits of their pets, and we have a lot of fun. I think it's
Mm.
very therapeutic too.
Yes, yeah, I completely agree with that. And I also feel that I understand like your overthinking because I definitely have been there too. And even now, like if there's something new I do, I tend to like I want to plan out everything and have it all perfect. And then I'm like, okay, no, this is not gonna help. And in the end, it's gonna be different anyway. Like perfectionism doesn't help.
Right, yeah.
Maybe in
That's
engineering, but that's a different field.
yeah, that's a hard one for me, not to overthink things.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel you. I think that's like a long journey to get like out of it. I don't know if we ever grow out of it
I mean,
at all.
yeah, I don't know. But you don't want to overthink it so much that you never take an action. The company that I used to work for, the founder had this quote that was, you've heard of ready, aim, fire, but he said ready, fire, aim. So you get ready, you take a
Uh-huh.
shot at it, you see where you land, and then you can reassess and actually aim and take another shot. So you have to fire at some point.
Yes, 100%. And I just see like someone was commenting and saying that they're hosting, I don't know, pop art creators, that they're hosting their first private lesson and they're
Okay.
feeling anxious and they're
Yeah.
overthinking what like 100%. And I think
Right.
it's like what you said, like we have to if we stay in this overthinking state, we're never gonna move. We're never gonna get anywhere. We just like we need to do it. And even like we need to fail. Like it's
Yeah.
part of the process. We need to fail and then we're like, okay, actually this wasn't a failure. This was something we can learn something from. We
Right.
learn and we move on. We do the next thing. I think like that's
Right.
part like that's the main part of being an entrepreneur. Like you need to reframe failure. There is no failure. Like just do the thing.
That's when you learn the most. When you
Exactly.
have a failure, that's when you learn the most. And when my students, they think they've messed up their painting and they panic, oh, I messed it up. Like, you didn't mess it up. The painting's not finished. And we just keep going.
Mm.
It's just paint. And we just keep painting until it's done. It'll be great when it's done. If it's not great, it's not done. We just keep going. It's not a big deal. It's just part of the process.
I like that. Yeah, I really like that. That's why I like to use acrylics and paint with acrylics
Yes.
because it's so much easier to like
Right.
like paint over them, move them around. Like with other painting modalities, it's a little bit more, some can be a little bit more challenging if you like feel like it didn't work out.
Right.
But that's why I like to go into the therapeutic art area
Hmm.
where there is no, where you have no connection to like what will be the
Right.
outcome. Like it's always the connection to the process and just
Right.
enjoying the moment. And even
Right.
the paintings that come out, you feel that someone was expressing something on
Hmm.
the paper, but it doesn't matter what it will be at the end.
Right. I've always enjoyed the process more than the final result. I
Hmm.
can remember ever since I was little, I've have to be making something. I have to be creating. It's just that process that I need. And when I'm done, I don't really need the thing, whatever it was. And I also have a lot of unfinished projects because when I get far along that I see it's going to work out, I already have another idea that I moved to because it's the process I enjoy,
Yeah.
not necessarily finished products.
I feel you so much. When I paint, I like to paint like smaller, like on smaller canvases,
Uh-huh.
because then I can like finish in
Right.
like one sitting in a few hours. If I have a big one and I'm like, I paint, then it's like I let it go. Like I have a new idea. I want to do like something else. So like I really enjoy like the small canvases and the small papers. Get
Right.
it out and get the next idea and just create, create, create.
I do commissions for people too. So those, I put myself on a timeline because somebody is waiting for me to finish that. So I'm a little more disciplined when it comes to doing things for other people. And I don't pay for myself enough. That's, yeah, not enough. That's true.
Hmm. So do you have like a painting practice like every day for
No,
yourself, or it's mainly,
I don't.
how often would you say you paint like for yourself maybe?
Not very often.
Not very often,
No,
okay.
not very. I started a painting. It's been months ago and it's not finished yet. It's just I'm so busy with
Hmm.
doing paintings with my students and then doing commissions and then doing painting parties. And I am not very good about taking time, set aside time for myself.
To create, yeah.
Hmm.
I feel that I have that in very busy periods too, but then it's kind of like I need to create for
Right.
myself as well. So I really enjoy doing like in the morning after I wake up for like 10, 15 minutes, just scribble something, like draw around like without a plan, but have like this feeling, okay, I did something for
Right.
myself and I did a painting for myself.
Right. I do have a sketchbook that I've been carrying around with me and trying to do that. When I get an idea or an inspiration hits, I can take out my sketchbook and put something in it. But um, I'm I'm a little all over the place. I have a hard time focusing on one thing at a time.
Hmm. I think that's part of being creative. I feel like. Shall we maybe let's each one of us can share like maybe one main takeaway or one main lesson that could help our viewers like to go in the direction of building their business in art, however that looks like, and then get into the art exercise.
Right. That sounds good.
Okay. So let's see. Do you want to start? Do you have a like your main
Um,
takeaway already?
I think what I would say is you don't have to be, I think we need to rethink what we've defined success as.
Mm,
Success doesn't mean I'm going to be famous, right? To me, success is I wake up excited to go to work.
mhm,
That's not always been true. Um, and I have enough money to pay my bills, and all my friends and family are healthy and happy. That's success to me. And I
mhm,
think sometimes, especially as an artist, and back when I was in college, and one of the reasons that I didn't follow through with an art degree is I felt like to be successful, you had to be famous. And the chances of
mhm,
becoming famous are pretty slim. But
mhm,
that's not true. You don't have to be famous to be successful.
mhm.
And that I tell the kids that I teach lessons to, I tell them that a lot. There's a lot of jobs out there, some you don't even know exist. So to have a job that you hate is horrible. And I would don't pick a job because you think you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it's gonna lead to burnout. It's gonna lead to depression. It's not gonna make your soul happy.
but you may have to live more humbly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Quit buying stupid stuff to impress people that you don't like anyway.
Hmm. Exactly. It's what we do though. It's like what we're programmed to do, and it's like recognize that and then change that.
Yep.
Exactly. Wow. I love that. I think my main takeaway and something that I've learned goes in line with that. So, like in terms of like success, it's it's something that happens like I feel like it happens through other doors first. I like to think of it the path of least resistance. That's why I learned it. So if, for example, you want any kind of money coming in, usually that money comes in through our path of least resistance. So it comes in maybe through our friends, or maybe our partner gets money, or our partner can opens a restaurant, and then they basically pay our bills so that we're allowed to be taken care of, and we can do we can follow our passion.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily mean all of this money will directly come to us like in the moment. It's gonna all come in and we're gonna be provided for if we're gonna follow our passion and if we move forward and connect with what our soul desires. But it sometimes looks very different to what we thought of before on how the money will be
Right.
coming in.
Right. And I think it's a good idea to keep some kind of record so you can see how
Hmm.
far you've come, because it's the success is so gradual you may not even
Yeah,
notice it. So if you look back and say, this is where I was a year ago and this is where I am today, I've I've made a lot of accomplishments, but they're not that noticeable because they're gradual.
exactly. I like to keep like a celebration journal. So every like I have it in digital and also on paper. So every like comment I get, every nice
Mhm.
feedback, I put it all in there and everything that happened because then like there are these moments where you feel like you're not getting where you want to go, or like I feel depressed, or I feel like it's all not happening, and I look at that, I'm like, okay, well, so much is happening, like calm down and enjoy the journey.
I've heard the advice before, never to make a big decision when you've had a bad day. Like I've wanted to quit
Hmm.
before. I'm sure everyone has. And
Yeah,
it's simply because you've had a bad day. Don't make those decisions on a bad
yeah,
day. And
no,
think
it,
about, I think about, 5 years is going to pass anyway.
yeah,
So five
yeah,
years from now, am I going to wish that I had kept going if I quit? You're always going to wonder how far could I have made it.
hmm,
So you just kind of push through.
yes, yes. And I mean, bad days are part of life. Like, even if you would do something else,
Right,
there would be bad days.
right, exactly.
Amazing. Shall we get into the painting drawing exercise? I'm very
Yes,
excited
speaking of
for this
bad
part.
days, right? This is going to be a way to maybe take those bad days and get rid of them for a while,
Hmm.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to tilt my camera down
Yes.
so you can see my paper.
Hmm.
How's that?
Yes, I think
Here,
that's
I'll turn it that
doable.
way.
Hmm.
Okay. So if you pre-registered, then you have this worksheet. If you don't have it, you can make your own color wheel, which you would just do a circle with another circle inside, and then you can do a triangle. I don't know. Can you see that? Is that dark
Maybe if
enough?
you can use like a black color, it will be easier
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah. Let
It's
me get another
seal
paper.
like
Let's
perfect.
see. Here we go. Okay. So if you don't have a color wheel, you can do two circles like this, and then you'll do a triangle in the middle. And at each point of the triangle, we'll just make a little box that's in the circle. And then the spaces in between those, we'll make another box. So that's a pretty just simple color wheel that you can make if you don't have the paper. So here we go. So I'm going to fill out this color wheel using just three colors. So I have This is cadmium yellow medium, but any yellow that you have. I'm just showing you what I'm using. I have a cadmium red medium, and then I have an ultramarine blue.
Oh wow, that's nice.
If you
And
don't
it fits your nails.
if you don't have paints, you could also use colored pencils. So I've done this with these colored pencils too. A red, a blue, and a yellow. And from these three colors, we can fill out the whole entire color wheel. So we're going to start with this top point of the triangle, and we're just going to fill this box in with yellow. We'll get some paint here. I think mixing colors, I love mixing colors. I think it's, so we're going to fill this in yellow. So that's one of the primaries. Then we're going to come around, let's see. Let's go to the other point of the triangle, and we're going to put red there. Right here. If you are painting, you want to rinse out your brush after each color. For this other one, for the final point of the triangle, I'm going to use my colored pencil. This is a watercolor pencil. So after I color in with it, you can go over it with a wet brush and it turns into paint. So if I fill that in, and then I take my brush with some water on it, it just turns into paint. And that is a watercolor pencil. So that gives me the three primaries. Now, in between each of the primaries, there are three boxes. So we're going to fill in the middle boxes. And these would be the secondary colors. So we're going to start mixing. So between the yellow and the blue, we're going to mix those together. It's a good idea to start with the lightest color first. So on my palette, let's see, let me bring my palette over. On my palette, I'm going to start with the yellow, and I'm just going to add a little bit of blue to it. The blue is pretty strong. So when I add that blue to the yellow, we're going to get a green. There's my green. So I'm going to fill in this middle box. Now, depending on the blue and the yellow that you're using, your green may come out differently. Now, for the red and yellow, I'll show you how to do that with the colored pencils. So again, I would start with the yellow pencil first, and I'm going to color this in with the yellow. And then I will lightly go over it with the red pencil, just very lightly. And then when I go over that with my wet brush, it already looks kind of orange as it is.
Does, yeah.
That would be the orange, maybe a little more red. There we go. And then for the final secondary color, this is going to be a mixture of the red and blue. So I'm going to take some red, add a little blue. This is going to give a purple. And again, depending on the red and blue that you have, your purple may come out differently. Now you can keep going. The other spaces are just going to be combinations of the two colors on either side of it. So between the yellow and the green, it's going to be a yellowish green. So you could take your the green that you made and just add more yellow to it. So it just kind of becomes a halfway between the yellow and the green, and you get a yellow green. And then you can just keep going around the circle. So we've got the green and the blue here. And if we put those together, I'll take my green again that I made and add just a little more blue. The green already has blue in it. We're just going to add a little more. And we'll get kind of a turquoise color. Am I going at a good speed?
I think so, yes. I'm at your same speed, so I believe
Okay,
yes.
okay. So from the blue and purple, we'll just take the purple and just add more blue. And that will go here. And then coming around between the red and the purple, now we're going to take our purple and just add more red. Got my purple. I'm going to add more red to it. Actually, purple's a really good way to darken red. If you're doing a painting and you want your red to be darker, I think our tendency is to add black to it, but
Hmm,
you can actually add purple to it.
I like that. Actually, I usually add black, yeah.
Yeah. I know the tendency is to add black to make a color
Hmm.
darker, but you can actually try adding the opposite color. And in
Okay.
order to find the opposite color, you find it on the color wheel and then you just go straight across and see what's straight across from it.
I like that.
So if you have a really bright green, you can actually add a little bit of red to it to make it not so bright.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So between the red and the orange, we're just going to make a reddish orange, so more red than yellow. So I've got my red and yellow, but it's going to be more red. And that's a good way to make a light red, is to add a little yellow. Instead of adding white and you get pink, if you want a
Yeah.
lighter red, just add a little yellow. And then our last space will be an orange, but it's got more yellow in it. So a yellow orange. I'm going to take a lot of yellow, just a little bit of red. And that's going to go there. I'm going to redo my orange. Here we go. So that is just a basic color wheel. Of course, you can keep going and going and going and get all kinds of colors, add whites, add blacks. But that is the basic color wheel that gives you the 3 primaries and then the secondaries.
And how about the triangle in the middle? Would you do something with that?
Um,
Oh, that's
you can fill in. I think the triangle just helps you get everything organized around the
okay.
circle, but you can like fill in the yellow here.
Ah, okay. So to
Yeah,
basically like,
you just repeat your colors. Yeah,
okay.
in the orange here
Okay, nice.
and so on.
Okay. I love it. So simple.
Yeah, I think mixing colors is fun and relaxing. I have
Mm.
color charts that I've made for myself. Usually green. I have the hardest time with green because there's so many ways to mix green. So um, this is a sample of one of my color charts. So you list your colors down the side and across the top, and you make these boxes, and then you just start mixing them together.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So then I can use this chart if I want to match a certain green. I can find it on the chart, and then I just go across and up to see what two colors I need to mix together to get that green. So that
Mm-hmm.
helps save paint too if you're trying to mix a specific color.
Yeah, true.
But
I have that sometimes if I try to mix something. I have a lot of mixed color, but not the color I want.
right. And making the color charts is very therapeutic also.
Yeah, I feel already like this exercise is very therapeutic. Done with the color charts, I can only imagine. Okay, I think like I'm also done with my color chart now. I
Okay.
actually love how it turns out. So maybe let's use let's do a little therapeutic exercise in which we connect to an emotion in our body,
Okay.
and then maybe it will actually be an emotion that has one of these colors that we just seen. Maybe it's a whole different color and we will mix something else. Let's see what comes up. It can be different in any moment and for anyone.
Okay.
So I would invite you to just like sit comfortably, and then when you feel, if that feels good to you, close your eyes and we're going to do
Okay.
a short meditation to connect.
Okay.
So once you close your eyes, just let's take a deep breath together to connect to our body. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Let's do that one more time, deeply inhaling and letting it all out. And one last time, deeply inhaling and exhaling. And then let's just connect to our body, doing a quick body scan. So starting at the feet, how do your feet feel on the ground? How do your legs feel? Your bum on the chair? How does your spine feel? Your shoulders? Maybe they're a little bit tight, so you can relax them. Relax your jaw, your eyes, the space between your eyebrows. And just relax and fully come into this moment. And then I just want you to connect to an emotion in your body. Maybe it's a contraction somewhere, or it's a lightness, or any kind of emotion. Something just when you ask your body, like, what feels the strongest right now? Just connect to that emotion. And this can be anywhere in your body, can even be in two places. Your body knows best to guide you to that place. So for me, for example, I feel a little bit of a heaviness in my chest right now, so I will connect with that feeling. And then once you have found that feeling and where it lives in your body, just observe it. Observe it as if it would be like something external you're observing. So maybe you see any kind of colors coming up, any kind of shapes, textures. Maybe the colors or shapes are moving, maybe not. Like really, there's no right or wrong, just anything that comes up. Take a moment to observe. And then ask this emotion what it needs from you. And just listen to the answer. Maybe if you do this the first time, there's nothing that comes up that's completely fine. Maybe it's very loud and it says, it could be anything. It could just be like, I need more love, I need rest, or I need nothing right now. So just ask this emotion what it needs right now and listen if an answer comes up. And if not, that's also okay. And then with that new awareness, that new knowing of observing this emotion and what it needs, let's come back to this very moment. So taking a deep breath in through the nose and exhaling. And then you can start to move your fingers and your toes, maybe your shoulders a little bit. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes. And then let's start just by drawing a silhouette of your body on the paper. I can't put my phone down because my tripod just broke this
Oh no.
literally today. Um, but I can hold up my paper. So basically just draw any kind of body silhouette. I'm just gonna draw one. No perfectionism here. So like what I did here is like this. So this would be perfectly fine as a silhouette. No perfectionism. And then once you have drawn your silhouette, you can look at your color wheel and maybe one of the colors that you mixed before is a color that you were seeing before. And if that's the case, just mix again this color and place it onto the spot that you were connecting to. Or maybe it's a new color, then it's a little bit more mixing now involved. So that's up to your creativity. I felt a little bit of black, so I will mix in a little bit of black into the purple that I was feeling. So let's see. And just draw that into the space within your silhouette. Maybe if you were seeing any textures or shapes, then you can add that in as well. And like this is really connecting with what you were seeing. No outcome. Like no, we're not focusing on what we're gonna get. We're just gonna focus, okay, what were we feeling?
Right.
And then when you feel like you have drawn in the spot, kind of like intuitively draw out the rest of your silhouette with any kind of colors that feel aligned. So for me, for example, now I drew the spot like kind of like blackish in my chest,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just probably gonna take some red and draw out and see what comes out. And it's like gonna be very interesting because the art will tell you something that you might not have
Mm-hmm.
noticed before. So just whatever color you like, choose it, mix it, and draw out your silhouette. And even draw if you draw around like out of the lines, that's also like there is no
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong. You can draw within the lines, a little bit outside of the lines
Right.
of the silhouette. Like this is all very intuitive.
Sometimes you can feel emotions starting to
Mm.
come. And I think you sometimes just have a split second to decide, am I going to take this on and go with it, or am I going to, push it away?
Yes. And I think that's so important to notice because actually an emotion, if we would feel it fully, it dissolves within 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Like literally that's the lifespan of an emotion, but if we hold on to it,
Hmm.
that's when it starts to live there for longer. And that's, I think that's what we're trained to do, like at least from where I come from, like even with my parents, they don't know how to express their emotions. So I learned to hold these emotions, and now learning to move through them and let them go is a practice. And I feel like with art, it's like it's simple to just put it on the paper. You did a movement, you did an action, and it flows into the paper, and you're like, okay, I'm good.
Hmm. Right. I've had, before you start a painting, to write something on the canvas underneath the paint and then paint over
Mhm.
it,
Yes, I do that too.
which it could be good or bad. You could write a positive message that you want to send out into the world, or you can write something that you're wanting to get rid of too.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And then if you feel like you've drawn out your silhouette, then if there was a message that came to you, what this emotion, the sensation needed, draw this around this emotion. So for me, for example, like I felt a little bit of heaviness in my chest. Of course, I'm a little bit nervous doing this Instagram live here. And I felt like the emotion was just telling me I just need a moment of like calm and self-love. So I'm gonna like draw a few hearts around it and maybe like a little beach or something like that. So it could be anything that this emotion was telling you. And if it was telling nothing, then just go with the flow and put some colors around, maybe some hearts, anything nice that supports it. And this could also be like if you want to write some words or put some symbols, like really, this is a really open space. I'm actually really loving the purple now. Now that we mixed it, I have a lot of purple going on.
I have a lot of purple going on too, right here in
Yeah,
my hair.
yes. In your hair, yes. And then I'm just gonna show you what I've drawn so far. No pressure to be to be faster. So basically, this is not about being pretty. Like literally, this is not something you would sell. I mean, maybe if you're like super famous, but it's basically just about expressing what I'm feeling and putting this emotion on the paper. And then just let me know how you're going, how we're going with the
Uh-huh.
speed. Do you need a moment more?
All right, here's what mine looks like.
Ah, I
So
like the sprinkles.
this is there's two colors all bunched up together there. That's nervousness and excitement. I kind of feel. And then I've like my stress and heaviness, when we were doing the meditation, I definitely felt in my neck and shoulders here. And then
Hmm.
I was kind of getting hot, so I painted my head red.
Mm,
But
of
then I
course, yeah.
this this hope and support of my family and friends up here always.
I like that.
So that's what that is. And
Amazing.
my hands have to be busy all the time. They always want to be doing something.
I mean, that connects very well to being an artist. I think probably a lot of us feel that. Um, One final piece to this now. So if you look at your painting, I always like to ask, is there anything that surprised you? So this could be surprised in the meditation or now when you look at the painting, but anything that surprised you that came up.
I can't think of anything for mine.
I think for me, what really surprised me is like, if you look at this as it looks very chaotic. I feel it's like very chaotic, but somehow I find like a lot of calmness in the chaos. And
Hmm.
usually I have a hard time with chaos and like I want to control things. But like this shows me, oh wow, I can be calm when there's chaos. So this was like something that's surprising me right now.
Hmm. That's awesome.
Let's just let the question rattle around. Sometimes it's like it might come up after a day or like you finish the life and you're like, oh, okay, maybe this surprised me. And it's just like a nice learning of about ourselves, what our subconscious wanted to tell us.
Right. And I think too, when we're not both on a live like this, I
Yeah.
can connect a little better.
Of course.
Not thinking about
I think that's
anyone watching, you know.
exactly that's an additional challenge, of course, yes.
Maybe that's what the splatters are.
Yeah, it's like a
Don't,
lot of energies coming in, people watching, like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like is another level.
You know,
Definitely.
the sheet that I made, I had a space here. Sometimes you just feel things in your face or specific areas of your face.
Hmm.
So you could do the same exercise here.
Hmm.
And then if you wanted, you could make copies of this and almost make it like a journal. And there's a section here where you can write down, you know, notes. Like I could write down, this was my Instagram live with Christine, and, you know, write down what I was feeling and maybe what some of these things represent, and then almost keep a journal of those, like in a notebook or something.
Mm, exactly. Yes, that's a very good recommendation. I think like it's something like I personally like to use like whenever I feel a little bit stressed or when I can't even identify the emotion, I'm just like I feel off.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, let's tune in for a moment, connect and like draw it. And it's like literally it doesn't take long. Like it can be done in like 10, 15 minutes and I feel better.
Right.
And I've also seen we got now I think it went up. We got a comment of someone also sharing their yes, she was saying, I first felt a blackish knot in my stomach, fear.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that too. I sometimes feel that too, yes. And it surprised me that there was a lot of joy in my heart center that outweighs the knot. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's amazing to notice because sometimes we are so connected with like this fear emotion and like this contraction, but there's so many other emotions going on in our
Right.
body where we're like, okay, if we actually would tune into that, the fear might not be that bad. So wow, I like that. And thank you so much for sharing
Right.
that.
And you know, it's interesting that the knot is a blackish color. If you mix black with yellow, you get green. So I wonder
Mm.
if you could
Mm.
imagine some yellow coming into that black and it kind of turning green and kind of dissipating the fear.
Mm. I like that. And also green is the color of the heart, of like the heart chakra, the love. So it's,
Mhm.
wow, that's very interesting. I like that. Okay, I think, do you think we like anything to add to the exercise or probably I feel like we're coming to the end.
Right. I think, yeah, I think that's all that I had with this. I could go on and on and on about colors. This is
I
just a
mean, that's
introduction to colors.
yes. But I think like at one point probably we will end the live.
Right.
Maybe we do another one
Right.
on and focus on other lives.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes I have to notice people's eyes start to kind of glaze over. I should stop talking about colors now. Oh, I see my daughter-in-law has joined. Hi, Kenna. She's who does my hair.
Ah, amazing. Yeah, I love your hair. Like very colorful.
like I said, I like colors.
I can see that. Yeah, I love it. And I love that it combines both the yellow t-shirt.
Right, in the t-shirt, it's got
Ah, it's your logo, your avatar. I like it. Yeah. Wow,
yep.
amazing.
Actually, I can grab one of these. Here's one of my assistants.
Oh, wow, how cute. So maybe as we're coming to the end, Elena, where can people find you? What kind of offers do you have so that
Okay,
if they want to work with you, where could they go and what could they do with you?
right. So my website is alanajudaart.com, ALANAJUDAHART. It's the same on Instagram and Facebook. But I've got art for sale, and it's all on my website. You can get original paintings, you can get prints, you can get tote bags, pillows, note cards, ornaments, all kinds of things. And I actually have a sale going on right now too.
Ah,
If
amazing.
you join my mailing list, you'll get updates on all the sales. There's going to be a lot of them from now till the end of the year. If you're local to me, I do painting parties that you can schedule with your friends, and private lessons too. And I do
Hmm.
commission. So if you wanted your pet's portrait painted, I could do that. We could do that, couldn't we?
So cute, yeah.
And what about you?
Well, so you can find my website. I'm actually like currently like updating it, but both my under my name, so Christine Peine. So it's with a CH and ending with an E, and then Peine you spell it Peine. Or just go to my Instagram and then you can go through the link. And then I mainly work with entrepreneurs. I help them to de-stress using art, like healing, everything that we did right now, and like really go to this deeper healing because I believe our businesses are kind of a mirror to our inner world. So everything that we haven't dealt with, it will come up throughout our business journey. So I love to help entrepreneurs to work through that and also simplify their work. So actually we can like take on all of these creative projects that our hearts are calling to. I currently have a few low ticket products that you can find on my website. One to de-stress your Instagram content because I know for me this was a lot of stress. I have a I have another offer where you can find a lot of therapeutic art exercises like the one we did today to help you in your journey, to help you in the process. And then, of course, also one-on-one coaching where we can go really deep in what it is that's blocking you right now from growing and enjoying your business.
Nice.
Amazing. And then I think we're at the end. We did the full hour. Actually, I didn't think we would do it, but we did the
Okay.
full hour.
Yay.
Amazing. So thank you so much, Elena. Thank you so much for everybody who was here, who was watching, who was listening. And yes, let's see where we see each other next time.
Yeah. Thank you too. It was nice doing this. And thank you for all your work that you put into it.
You too. Thank you. Okay, then I think see you
We're
soon.
good. Yep. Yep. Till next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.